Caseus, Jedi Master. Chapter 12. Liara was breathing heavily, holding the blaster wound on her leg while trying to pilot the ship as best as she could. "Caseus, where do we go?" Caseus groaned as he slipped in and out of consciousness. Blood trickled down his pale face as Liara looked panicked. Suddenly, she saw the pit droid sitting in a small disc on the crate next to her. Hitting its nose, the droid sprang to life and ran around in circles, beeping like mad. "Hey, settle down!" The droid looked at Liara and backed up, holding a wrench in its hand. "Look, I know you don't like me, but I need you. Please, see my friend back there? He's dying. I have to help him. Please, keep the ship steady until we reach the city. I'm begging you." The droid tilted its head and looked at Liara. He could tell she was in pain and very distressed. Standing up, the droid saluted and ran to the controls, taking charge. Liara hopped from the seat and hobbled over to Caseus, where she tore a piece of her tunic and used it to apply pressure to his bleeding wounds. Fed had done a number on him. He wouldn't survive without medical attention. Liara knew she had to find help, even if it meant exposing themselves. Suddenly, the droid started beeping and Liara looked out the rear viewport. Her heart sank as she saw the Slave One gaining on them. They hadn't modified the Nebulous with any weaponry or any shields. They were sitting ducks. Liara set Caseus back down and ran to the cockpit. They were so close to the city. The bounty hunters wouldn't risk hunting them in a crowded place. It was their only option. As they approached the city, cannon fire began to zip past the Nebulous, as Liara and the droid steered and swerved to avoid as much as they could. Suddenly, their wing was hit, and they were losing altitude and speed. The Slave One was now right on top of them as Liara closed her eyes tightly and prepared for the worst. But the worst never came, as the Slave One was suddenly hit by several blasts from two incoming ships that Liara didn't recognize. It was just enough for the Slave One to disengage from the fight and head into the sky as the hull began to smoke. Liara caught her breath as a staticky noise came through the comms.
"You all right?"
Liara hit the comm button. "Who is this?"
"That's not important right now. Is everyone on board all right?"
"No, we're hurt. We need medical attention immediately."
"Follow us and stay low. Hurry."
Okay." Liara followed the two ships out past the city and far off into the distance until they reached a large secluded outpost in a large hilly valley.
"Set down right there. We're not going to hurt you, but you need to come out without any weapons."
"Okay, just please help us." Liara set the ship down and put her lightsaber away in a box beneath her bed and ran to Caseus, who was starting to fade. "Caseus! Caseus, no! No, stay awake! Stay awake!" Caseus' vision went dark. The last thing he saw were three armed men rushing into the ship.
Caseus. Caseus.
"Who's there?"
Caseus. Wake up, child.
Caseus' eyes shot open as he found himself floating in a bacta tank. Loud beeping sounds all around him. Outside, he saw blurry figures, when suddenly he was raised from the tank, coughing and wheezing. "Caseus, relax. You're safe." Caseus looked around him as his vision cleared and saw several armed soldiers and a woman in a dark gray coat holding a datapad. "Liara, where is she?" "The girl is fine. I need you to breathe. Relax." Caseus took slow, deep breaths as he was removed from the tank and given a fresh outfit. As he dressed, he looked at the woman. "Who are you?" "I'm Zenka. These are my men. We are here to help you." "Who do you work for?" "I'm afraid I can't disclose that right now, but rest assured you're not in any danger. Are you hungry? Thirsty? Do you need anything?" "I need to see Liara." Zenka nodded and left the room. Caseus looked around. It looked like they were in a large cave, completely outfitted into a safety bunker. In a few moments, Liara ran in and rushed to Caseus, who hugged her tightly. "Caseus!" "Liara, are you okay?" "I'll be okay. What about you?" Caseus was still very sore, but feeling miles better than how he had felt before. "I'll be okay. Did these people do anything to you?" "No. They fixed me up. They even gave me some food." Zenka walked over to Caseus with a cup of fizzing liquid
You lost a lot of blood. Here, drink this. It'll help.
Caseus took the cup and drank.
I suppose you're wondering who we are.
Caseus nodded.
I'll answer what I can. But first, you need to tell us what you're doing on Chandrila. 2 Jedi hiding on a core world?
Caseus looked at Liara. We were told that it would be a suitable place to hide given the attitude of Chandrila's residents towards the Empire. Clearly we got careless.
Do you know who that was trying to capture you?
If I had to guess, I'd say a bounty hunter.
Not just any bounty hunter. That was Boba Fett, one of the most notorious bounty hunters in the galaxy. How you managed to survive him is quite frankly beyond me, but nevertheless, he knows where you are now. And he won't take this lying down. He'll come for you again, and I guarantee he'll be better prepared next time.
There won't be a next time. We're leaving now.
Not just yet. There's someone you need to speak to. If it weren't for her spies, you'd be dead by now. You owe it to her.
Caseus looked at Liara and back to Zenka. Fine. One of the soldiers walked towards a door to the left. Right this way. Caseus and Liara followed as he led them through tight corridors until they reached a large room with a holotable in the center. As the guard entered a few commands into the terminal, an image of a slender woman garbed in white robes appeared.
Greetings, young Jedi. I trust you're recovering well.
I'm fine. Who are you?
I am Mon Mothma. I served in the Galactic Senate years ago.
Mon Mothma. Yeah, I remember you. You were close friends with Senator Organa. Why are we here?
You are here because you were in danger. I would say that we did you a favor, despite the risk you have brought.
Risk?
The Jedi are still being hunted, even as their numbers have dwindled to near non-existence. Those bounty hunters may very well turn over your location to the Empire. And if they do, it will turn more eyes towards me. As a representative of Chandrila in the Senate, I will have more eyes on me than before, thanks to you.
What do you want with us, Senator? What's this all about?
Caseus. The Empire's grip continues to tighten around the throats of innocent systems all throughout the galaxy. But there are some who have chosen another path. A path of rebellion.
Rebellion?
I won't say more. Save that I sympathize with this cause. I watched as the Emperor took control of the galaxy and destroyed the democracy myself and many others devoted our lives to. The Empire will continue to snuff out any signs of insurgency unless people rise up and stand against them. I have a few contacts who could use the aid of 2 Jedi in this fight. I therefore offer you and your student the opportunity to stand with the oppressed and fight back.
Fight back? With all respect, Senator, no force in the galaxy has the strength to rival the Empire. Not even with the Jedi behind them. If you strike at the Empire, they'll only grow stronger and retaliate tenfold. I can't take that risk. Especially not with Liara.
Do you have such little hope, Caseus? You would rather hide than try to restore freedom to the galaxy.
Hope isn't a virtue I place much value in these days. My hope was shattered years ago. All I have now is Liara. And I won't bring her into a conflict we can't win. I'm sorry. I'm forever grateful for your help, but you ask too much of me.
I see. You're free to go, of course. I suggest you leave Chandrila as soon as possible. However, I have a job for you.
I thought I made myself clear.
And so you have. Consider thus repayment for our kindness. The Empire has become aware of several encoded transmissions we have been trying to receive from an informant of ours in the Outer Rim. We can no longer take the risk of receiving these transmissions as we normally do. Otherwise, the Empire's spies may begin to start putting 2 and 2 together. Head to Bespin On Cloud City, you will find our informant. He will provide you with crucial intelligence, and once you have received it, you will relay it to me via an encrypted comm signal. After that, you are free to do as you wish.
Caseus thought it over. He wanted nothing to do with any rebellion or fight against the Empire. But he owed them his life. This was the least they could do. I'll do it. After that, we're done.
Understood. Though I would suggest you consider my offer. The galaxy needs the Jedi, Caseus. May the Force be with you.
The hologram ended, and Caseus and Liara were escorted out. Looks like we're headed to Bespin.
What's it like?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never been out that way before. Once we take care of this, we can continue your training somewhere safe. Somewhere quiet.
But where will we go?
We'll figure it out. I promise. Jedi, come this way. We have a few things for you. Caseus and Liara followed the soldier to a room with a workbench laid out with supplies. We fixed up your arm for you. Added a bit of armoring to it. Nothing too sturdy, but it should help a bit. Caseus looked at the arm. It looked better than before as he picked it up and carefully affixed it to his stump, flexing the fingers and testing it out. Your clothes are pretty much done for, so we got you some new gear. Caseus looked at the dark gray and green outfit and nodded in approval, leaving the room to put it on. Upon returning, he saw Liara with a similar dark gray outfit. That looks good on you.
Thanks.
One more thing. That pit droid of yours was a little scrag rat. Kept trying to attack us with a wrench. But we were able to subdue him and fix him up a bit. Even gave him a voice modulator so you can understand him. Caseus raised an eyebrow as Liara smiled and walked over to the pit droid, switching him on. He immediately sprung to life and looked in every direction before admiring his new arm and extending his arms and legs.
Hi. Remember me? I'm Liara. Can you say something?
The droid looked around and back to Liara.
Hi?
The droid suddenly perked up.
Hey! I can talk!
He did a little dance and celebrated before holding out his little metal hand to Liara.
Hiya! The name's P1P17, but you can call me Pip if formalities aren't your thing.
Liara laughed and shook Pip's hand as Caseus groaned slightly.
Thanks for helping us, Pip. I didn't know you could fly ships.
Fly ships? Sweetheart, I've been flying ships since the day I was built. So, where are we heading?
Liara laughed and looked at Caseus.
Isn't he amazing?
This might be a mistake. After they gathered their gear, Caseus and Liara went to their ship, where the rebel soldiers were hard at work fixing the damage done by the Slave One. One of the engineers wiped his forehead and cleaned grease from his hands.
You're lucky the damage wasn't worse, or you'd be here a lot longer. I'd strongly suggest adding some more weapons to this fossil.
As long as it flies, we'll be okay. Thank you. You've done more than enough. The engineer stepped closer.
Never met a Jedi before. Not what I expected.
What did you expect?
I don't know. Something more?
I was more. A long time ago. Caseus grabbed a crate of supplies and stepped on board with Pip and Liara.
Bespin, here we come.
Have you been there, Pip?
Oh, I've been all over the galaxy. Sullust, Malastare, Raxus Prime. You haven't lived until you've seen the waterfalls of Naboo.
Caseus rolled his eyes and looked at his lightsaber. It was in bad shape. He'd have to fix it up before they got to Cloud City. Sitting in the cockpit next to Liara, Caseus raised the ship from the docking port and into the sky, taking a final look at Chandrila before taking off into the stars above.